everyone, and welcome back to Death Holler. I'm your host, Reverend Dr. Death, and joining me as always is my co-host, La Llareyna, and this is the second half of the Chucky spectacular that we have planned for you. This movie is, of course, Curse of Chucky from 2013. Tagline, Fear has a new home.
I mean, it's not the worst, but...
And it's accurate to the movie.
It is... I guess. I don't like it.
After, Chucky gets lucky, it's kind of hard to, surpass those.
And I have to remind myself, we need to let the audience know right now, these are serious, more toned down a little bit. Actually, oh no, Colt kind of gets back into comedy.
It gets a little bit back into comedy. This one goes very hard back into the scary Chucky, as it were.
This one is very serious toned for sure.
Directed by Don Mancini, written by Don Mancini, music by Joseph Loduca, made for a budget of $5 million, and we don't know what it made in the box office because it's direct to video.
Straight to video. So they don't have no numbers whatsoever?
Nope.
That's bullshit.
There might be movies purchased or something, but they don't keep track of that. So.
Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go to Google. I'm on Google right now on it, and I'm trying to see if here it goes. So I'm waiting for Google to kind of tell me, oh well, so X% of Google users like it. But here's some ratings. 5.6 out of 10 on IMDb, 75% on Rotten Tomatoes, and on Rotten Tomatoes, which I'm actually going to the website, I want to see the audience. So the tomato meter is a 75%, audience is 60. And then that's pretty much all I've got with that.
This one's pretty well liked by most people in the horror community.
Mm-hmm. Oh, 77% of Google users like this. And now it's higher because I just liked it.
I'm going to go ahead and spoil it. I do like this movie quite a bit.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed this movie.
Yeah, this is one that I would put on to actually watch, as opposed to like Seed when we said we would just kind of watch if it was on TV but not really complain about it. I would actively want let's watch, Curse.
Yeah, I have a lot to say. I'm going to save it for after going through the principal players and once we get into the likes of the movie, but there's so much to like about this movie. So
there really is. Fiona Dorff plays Nika Pierce, the final girl in the movie. She is a true final girl in all senses of the word, and actually one of the best final girls that we've got because she is also handicapped basically.
Yes. And plays it pretty well, although I did catch a slip up in this film. She moved her feet.
Yeah, that happens on occasion. She is, of course, also returns in Cult of Chucky, the Chucky TV series. She was in Hellstrom TV series. I guess that was on Hulu. The Blacklist, On Fire from 2023, and The Stand from 2021. She played the Rat Queen.
Okay.
Brad Dourif, her father, returns as Chucky, the killer doll slasher.
Daddy Dourif.
Chantel Queenell plays Sarah Pierce, the last target of Charles Lee Ray before being fatally shot. And also, that's Nika's mom.
Yeah.
A. Martinez plays Father Frank, the priest at Nika's former church. He is known as being one of the main antagonists on the Longmire TV show. That is a great fucking TV show, by the way, if you haven't seen it.
Never even heard of it.
It's kind of like set in Colorado or Wyoming, I believe, in like current times, but like Longmire's like a local sheriff and he solves like these murders, but he's also got to deal with the reservation, and that's where A. Martinez comes in, because A. Martinez is like he's the leader of the tribal council, but he also owns like the casino, so he's got a lot of power, and he's always like trying to use that to get Longmire kicked out, basically. So he was also on Far Haven for 2023, Dark Winds TV series, and The Bay TV series.
Okay.
Maitland McConnell plays Jill Taylor. She is the hot nanny, I believe.
Yeah, nice. Like, what do you call that when it's like you think something's going on, but it isn't?
The fake out.
Kind of. It's there's another word for it that you've used before, but anyways.
Yeah, we'll probably think of it at some point. She was in Killer Movie in an episode of Ghost Whisperer with Jennifer Love Huge Tits.
Love the Ghost Whisperer. I've been trying to watch it, and I can't find anywhere that I can watch it without paying for it. And I'm like, is it that good? It's not. That I have to pay to watch. So now I have to ask my husband to download that. You know what that's going to do to him? That's going to kill him.
If he has to actually pay for it.
Yeah, not even pay for it. Like if he has to look for it and download it from me, he's going to physically die.
Let's hope that doesn't happen if he has to pay for a few seasons of The Ghost Whisperer. I mean, come on now.
No way.
Danielle Basutti plays Barb Pierce, who is Nika's bitchy older sister, and has a little thing going for the nanny, which is the little twist in the movie. What a twist!
What a twist! It totally looks like the dad has a thing with the nanny, but the dad's staying by the nanny, so his wife doesn't fuck the nanny.
Yep, that's what's going on,
folks.
Danielle is a voice actress. She was in the Lego Movie 2, God of War, also in Insidious Chapter 2, and The Last Key.
Holy shit.
Brendan Elliott plays Ian Pierce, which is Barb's husband. And you would think that he was into the hot nanny. Why wouldn't you be?
Yeah.
But he's actually just fucking trying to keep her from fucking his wife.
Yeah.
So there you go. Kyle Nobis plays Daniel Pierce, Nika's father, in a flashback scene.
Yeah.
Adam Herding plays Officer Stanton, who happens to show up at the wrong time, at the wrong place. He also comes back in Cult of Chucky. We'll get to that momentarily. Yeah. Plays bits parts in Violent Night, Orphan, The First Kill, Incident in a Ghostland, Channel Zero, and an episode of Supernatural.
Of course he was in fucking Supernatural. Who the fuck in any of these films was not in Supernatural?
They're about everybody. Summer H. Howell plays Alice Pierce. She was in Channel Zero, Hunter, All Fun and Games 2023. Alice is the young girl, correct? Or am I
thinking Alice is the young girl.
Okay. Jennifer Tilly is now in back as Tiffany, now in JT's body. Confusing, but she, is Tiffany, but Jennifer Tilly, whatever. And then Alex Vincent, comes back as Andy.
Yes.
Finally, the original comes back for revenge.
We got the OG.
Synopsis. Sarah Pierce and her wheelchair-bound daughter Nika receive a package from an unknown sender. Turns out to be an old Good Guys doll from the 80s. Later that night, Sarah dies from what appears to be suicide. Later, Nika is paid a visit from her sister's family, the suspiciously hot nanny, and the local priest. One by one, each of these people begin dying. Is it Nika, jealous for her sister, or someone else who is doing the killing? Hot nanny cams get interrupted. Vegan chili turns deadly, and Sarah's eyes were always too fucking close together. Be afraid. Be effing afraid.
Oh, my God.
Body count, a little down this time. It's 10.
Ooh, we've toned it down. Okay.
Sarah, stabbed in the stomach with scissors. Car guy number 1 killed in the car accident. Car guy number 2 killed in the car accident. Father Frank, poisoned, hand cut off, and decapitated in a car crash. Jill, electrocuted and her eye burned out.
That was a good one.
That was a pretty good one. Barb, eye gouged out with a knife. Ian, jaw chopped off with an axe. That was a good one. That is a very disturbing scene.
Good.
It really does. Daniel Pierce drowned to death. Officer Stanton throat slit with a nail file. That keeps happening with the nail files in these cops.
Yeah, they never learn.
Alice's grandma suffocated with a plastic bag.
That fucking jump scare fucking got me.
Yep, right at the very end.
Fucking bitch.
Other taglines: foul mouth, foul temper. And quotes: Chucky, 25 years. Since then, a lot of families have come and gone. The Barclays, the Kincaids, the Tillies. But you know, Nika, your family was always my favorite, and now you're the last one standing, so to speak.
I'm going to slap you.
Chucky, it's time to play.
Yes.
Chucky laughs. Women can't live with them. Period.
That was good for this film, considering, yes, it's the same voice actor, but he's got to be a little bit more serious.
Yes, just a little bit.
Yeah.
Alice, Chucky, I'm scared. Chucky laughs. You fucking should be.
Fuck that. That was good.
Nika, you're Charles Lee Ray. Chucky, my friends call me Chucky. Nika, you're dead. Chucky, no, you are. And then Nika's, why us? And then Chucky, didn't your mother even mention me? I'm an old friend of the family. Nika holding the knife at Chucky. You want to play, motherfucker? Let's play. I love that line from her.
Nika wants to live.
Barb, after Chucky runs up to her with a knife, oh my God, Alice is, and then Chucky's like, Alice is mine. Now she knows, and he peels the rest of his disguise off. There is no God.
That was a good scene. That was actually scary.
The fake face that Chucky has on is fucking scary in this movie.
I love it.
It looks so weird. It actually set chills up my spine seeing it, you know.
It was funny because I kind of laughed at first because if you look in the pictures, he's kind of got a big head and a sort of a stocky body. And then you kind of realize, oh, wait, no, that's just the face looking a little bit fatter because it changes once he changes.
And his eyes are sunk in behind that face, so it makes it even look weirder. But then whenever he goes back to his old look, minus a few staples, it's like, okay, this is the Chucky I know.
Yeah.
You know? Chucky looks at Barb. You have your mother's eyes, and they're always too fucking close together. And this is just a whole exchange between a post office worker and Tiffany. It's like Tiffany walks up and she's like, next. And Tiffany's like, good afternoon. Post office worker, 3-day, 2-day, or overnight. Tiffany's like, overnight. It's extremely urgent. She asks if it's fragile. Tiffany's like, surprisingly not. Post office worker, approximate value. Tiffany, well, my mother always said or used to say you can't put a price on love. Post office worker, under $250 then. Would you like to insure the package? Tiffany's like, oh, that won't be necessary. Post office worker, protects you and protects the recipient. And Tiffany says, I doubt that, and then laughs. And then post office worker, perishable goods, live animal. Tiffany, just put other.
Just put other.
And then she's like, they never learned to Chucky in the plastic evidence bag. So who's next? That's after she kills the cop with a nail file again.
Yes.
And then the great scene with Andy at the end of it where he's talking to his mom. And I love this because it actually shows, like, that's one thing that I'm going to go ahead and spoil about that I love about these movies, that Don Mancini actually has a through story for these movies because Andy is talking to his mother again. And it's like, you know, and it's like, oh, fuck. Like, you know, that was one thing we mentioned. It's like, did whatever happened to her?
Yeah.
But like but they bring it back, you know, and he's asked his mom how she's doing, says he's sorry he didn't mean to call. And then like, he says he's coming to, you know, I'm definitely coming for my birthday tomorrow. Don't get me anything. Do me a favor, Ma, no surprises. And then while he's doing this, like Chucky's cutting his way out, you know, the box. And in this scene, I love this. This line, yeah, how's Mike doing? Tell him I said hello. His mom's with Mike from the first movie.
I didn't catch that.
I just love that little touch. It's just like it connects so much. And then he's like, all right, I'll see you around that time. And then he aims the shotgun right at Chucky, and he's like, play with this.
Yeah.
And then Chucky's like, Andy? And then like and then the movie goes off.
Like, Chucky, are you really shocked? Was Chucky really shocked? Like, he should have known.
No, he knew Andy was there. I think he was surprised that Andy had the balls to do that to him. You know?
Yeah, he was acting like, oh, why? I'm your friend to the end. No, Chucky, we are not your friend to the end.
That fucking I love the rest of this movie anyways, but just seeing Andy come back and that interaction between the two of them, it cemented. I was like, this is a damn fucking good movie.
I'll tell you what, I almost missed it because I'll tell you why. I was watching this on the Peacock, and Peacock, shame on you. And it
started
just
to cut to a new movie, didn't
yes, it cuts to a new
Yep.
movie, and it wouldn't let me go back. And I had read on Wikipedia, and I don't know why I was on Wikipedia. Wikipedia. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with me. Anyways, Wikipedia. I was on it, and I was looking up something on this one, and I looked at the plot, and it was like, oh, at the end, end scene credits, and I was like, what? And so I had to watch it on YouTube. Worth it.
It is worth it. It 100% is.
Yeah.
Visually, it's for shots of straight to video. It's actually a very well filmed movie. I actually the use of light and the way and the house itself, the way that it looks, is actually very, very well done in this movie. The only thing that I've heard people complain about, and I can kind of see it, is the fact that they use a little bit more CGI for Chucky than they do in other movies.
Yes, but I will say this. I don't think that the CGI made it look terrible. Where CGI can fucking ruin some shit, I think it helped. By the way, they made this film for $5 million.
Yeah.
Holy
they made it
shit.
for shoestring. I don't think that the CGI hurt it myself. Actually, I think that made the Chucky face look freakier.
I think so too. I liked how it looked friendlier. It looked smoother. I thought it looked better, and then it gets scarier. His eyes, oh my God. I loved it.
Yeah. And then and speaking of the other part of the visuals, the actual gore, if the eye burning out wasn't one thing, and the eye getting cut out wasn't one thing, seeing that guy, like the husband's, like Ian's, like jaw getting torn in half and seeing like his tongue flopping.
Yep.
Perfect.
Fucking
they
perfect.
did what they were supposed to do. They understood the assignment on that.
Yeah, and like I said, $5 million budget, you have to watch this film. Also, I want to go back to the lighting in terms of the visuals. This house is very gothic looking. On the outside, it looks pretty basic, but on the inside, it looks like it's Victorian.
It's 100% gothic look. I'm glad you said it, because that's what I thought the entire time. I was like, this feels like an old gothic, like haunted house or something.
Beautiful home. The lighting is amazing because we're in the middle of a thunderstorm, so of course the electricity is minimal at best, and eventually gets fucking completely cut off in a wonderful scene. And the way they light everything, it looks gorgeous and perfect for a horror film.
And them setting it in a singular house really helped them stretch the budget out. But the house looked perfect. For what they needed.
Especially the little the elevator it had for her, because she was paraplegic, Which the story behind that, which we'll get into the story, that was fucking disgusting.
Oh, yeah. The wrought iron gate, though, really added to the gothic feeling, too.
Yes, it did.
Well, let's just go in the story. The fact that he linked this all the way back to the first movie, actually leading up to the exact moment that the first movie happened.
Yeah.
Chef's kiss.
Oh, yeah.
That whole thing was Charles Lee Ray stalking this woman, this pregnant woman, kills her husband, drowns him, kidnaps her while she's pregnant with Nika, and then tells her he's going to have a family with her, whether she wants it or not.
Yeah.
And then the fact that she's called the police, and he's like, "You've killed me, you fucking bitch." And then he stabs her, causing Nika to be paralyzed. Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
stabs a pregnant woman in the stomach and causes the baby to be paralyzed. And then Chucky recants the story with just joy.
No remorse.
No remorse.
He's happy about it.
Yeah. And by the way, it's kind of weird because Barbie... He was obsessed with Barbie, so he's obsessed with being a dad. He wanted this weird family dynamic of sorts, and he's like, I'm gonna go pick up Barbie from daycare, and it's like, did Barbie know she was old enough?
It almost feels like Barbie. You know how they say that some people who are traumatized forget things until they're like brought up again under hypnosis or something like that. It almost feels like Barbie blanked every bit of that out of her mind.
Yeah. Dude. Which it would have, I could totally see something like that. Like causing so much trauma, you do forget about it.
And the fact that they literally follow him all the way up to the steps of inside of the actual toy store in the first movie. And then we go from there. It's like, okay, so whenever he says that line about how he's affected all these other families, and that line's good too, because it links all the previous films. But before the Barclays, the Pierce was his favorite family. Like, it's such a creepy moment knowing what Charles Lee Ray did as a human before
Yes.
he.
It's still the no remorse and the joy in telling the story, and just the look in her eyes and him just enjoying every second of it. Fucking worst.
Yeah, any like humanity that you got out of Seed of Chucky that you almost felt like you were associated with him, they pull it all the way back off in this one.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Just like his face, like it's like, okay, we're making him the killer, the bad guy again,
Yeah.
This ties into acting, but Fiona Dorff, like, she's so good.
She's really good. She's been in other films too, I imagine, and you probably read those off. And my memory has already that's just not there for me right now. But impressive for a nepo baby.
Yeah. Well, growing up around all that stuff, yeah. I mean, and there's a lot of people a lot of actors that like get these jobs because their parents are in it, and you watch them and you're like, yeah, don't really have what your parents have.
Yeah.
She definitely got that whatever Brad has as far as like his ability to emote, to sure, she picked that skill up from him over time, whatever it is, she's got it.
She's got it. It was, maybe she was born with it, I don't know,
maybe it's Maybelline.
But yeah, she definitely has it. And sometimes you get these kids that you're like, okay, you're here because your parents, and clearly she is not. And how awesome to be like, my daddy is the star of all these Chucky films, and I got to be in one of those. I would be so happy.
Well, that goes back to the trivia from the last episode, though. I mean, from Bride of Chucky, that's the reason that this became his favorite movie, because he had the proud papa moment so much in this movie.
Deserves that. Like, oh my God, sir, you did a great job,
And they're very close together. Like, there's this great documentary, if you can find it anywhere, and to look it up. It's like Living with Chucky. It's actually Tony Gardner's daughter. Like the effects guy, it's his daughter, because she's grew up with Chucky, just like Fiona Dorff did.
Yeah.
And just seeing Brad and Fiona together and like how they interact, I mean, it almost makes you want to. I mean, like, it almost brings a tear to your eye, because they really do have a tight bond.
Yeah.
As far as father and daughter. So.
I wonder if he's ever like scared her with Chucky stuff. I would absolutely do that to my kids.
Well, they tell a story, and I think I shared this on one of the other things, that like the during Child's Play, the very first Child's Play, that scene where Chucky is getting burnt up in the grate, at the end of the movie, and he scream, and Brad Dourif does that great Chucky scream where he's just like screaming out. He scared her so bad because she thought he was really hurt that she ran out of the building, and they had to go like get her.
Yeah, I do remember that. I just mean like intentionally scaring her with Chucky stuff.
Oh yeah, well, I don't feel like he would have, because their relationship wouldn't have been that way. So
that's boring.
The acting in this movie, I mean, other than Nika, like, I don't feel like Barbie's that great as the sister. She's okay.
I hate her.
A. Martinez, he's good as the priest.
Yeah.
He's pretty good.
I love the way his head fucking fell off when they tried to release him.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to save you. No, you're not.
Speaking of another good visual, I mean,
that was great.
That's a good scene. The husband's, he's good for his part. And then the hot nanny serves her purpose. I mean, so
yes.
It's not the kind of acting that we see in some of these movies where it's like literally like they're looking at, each other. Barely they're you barely see any change in their face, and it's just like, I guess I will go over here now because I'm supposed to.
Yeah.
They're all fine. It's just like, but Fiona's so much better than the rest of them. She just really outshines.
She is. The stars are Chucky and Nika. That's it.
And then the music, there's some good original music in this. Joseph DeLuca actually does a pretty good job on this.
There's a couple times, and I rarely notice music in these films, especially when they're original scores, but I was like, holy shit, the music is good in this.
When Chucky really starts kicking, when he reveals where he's at, and even like the title sequence, like that, it's got like this almost like a music box type feel to it, like it's playing.
I heard something in the when they were getting into the elevator, and I was like, "This is I love this." Yes, music box, exactly, creepy music box.
Yeah. As far as trivia, the knife Charles Lee Ray uses during the flashback sequence is the same knife Chucky uses throughout the first Child's Play movie.
Nice, and it had almost a Scream vibe to it, a ghost face.
Yeah, it's definitely got that look to it of the Scream movies. The filmmakers had a practical joke at a bus stop to promote the film. A billboard of the movie's poster would light up, and an actor dressed as Chucky would suddenly burst through the billboard and scare whoever was nearby. That would be cool.
I fucking love that.
According to Brad Dourif, he had to wear a wig and a massive amounts of makeup to make him look like he did in the original Child's Play movie from 1988. Lighting was also a huge factor.
I was wondering if that was him. I was like, I can't tell.
Yeah. The actress who plays Nika is Brad's real-life daughter, as we said, who provides the voice of Chucky. Film was shot in 30 days.
Impressive.
Yep. At points during filming, Chucky's face had to be covered with tape because it legitimately scared the actress who played Alice.
Oh, that's hella funny. What a little bitch.
He is pretty freaky looking in this movie, though, to be honest. Don Mancini described this film as his first real horror film as a director since Seed was more of a comedy. That's true.
Okay.
But he can do horror because this worked. I mean...
Yeah.
The longest time in the series before Brad Dourif speaks his first line. It's 44 minutes in the movie before you actually hear Chucky.
Oh, my God. And when he does, it's like, oh, shit.
Brad Dourif recorded all of his lines in less than a day.
Fuck.
With a runtime of 97 minutes, the longest film in the series. First film in the series to be shot digitally.
Okay.
First film in the series to be a direct-to-video release. This film makes references to each of the previous movies, including Tiffany, Jennifer Tilly, the Military Academy, the Kincaids, and the Barclays.
Yeah.
Nika's father Daniel's death is only shown in the deleted scenes. Only 4 of the 8 of Chucky's staple scars are unearthed in the attic scene that existed from Bride of Chucky. There are 3 more on his head and 1 on his right hand. So the scene where Alice catches a glimpse of Chucky running is similar to the original Child's Play, where Maggie sees the same thing. The first time Chucky tries to possess a female.
Yeah.
First final girl in the series, really. I mean, because Tiffany was going to take over Katherine Heigl's body, technically, in that movie. Let's see. Brad Dourif has said this is his favorite Chucky movie because of his daughter.
Yeah.
Nika's older sister, Barb's full name is revealed to be Barbie, like another doll that is out there. Even though she plays Nika's mother, Chantel Quinnell is only 10 years older than Fiona Dourif. So
okay. I was thinking because the flashback, I was like, that looks just like the same woman. And then it showed her dad, and I was like, that is the same woman. How did they, what? Okay.
They just put some aging makeup on her for the older version of her.
Yeah.
Since 2007, Don Mancini has wanted to remake Child's Play with Brad Dourif reprising his role as Chucky. On the DVD commentary, he said he wanted to explore and satirize today's toys and their marketing. By 2011, Mancini had seen the negative criticism of recent remakes at the time, like Nightmare on Elm Street from 2010, which we covered, which led him to believe that a remake wouldn't satisfy fans, and knowing he would have to deal with legal rights to MGM and Universal, who only own the rights to the sequels and characters. So it was decided to make it a sequel that's also a soft remake of the franchise.
I like that.
Many scenes or ideas he wanted for the remake were reused, such as the elevator jump scare being intended for the elderly characters from the original, and a new Andy-like character saying bitch.
Bitch. I love that scene.
In the flashback scene, everything is in black and white except the flowers that Charles Lee Ray brings for Sarah, which are shown in color. These are the same sort of flowers that Sarah is shown painting at the start of the film.
Yeah.
When Barb goes in the attic, she finds a large collection of paintings of these same flowers. I don't know what that's signifying. Did she have some Stockholm syndrome or something where she was like remembering that fondly in a weird traumatic way, or you know what I'm saying?
Well, she was painting them before it was an issue, or wait, was she painting them while she was in captivity?
He brought them to her while she was in captivity, and then later in life she painted them as her relaxation.
Oh shit. I thought for some reason she was like previously painting them.
No, that just happened to be her favorite flower, and he kept bringing it to her.
Oh.
So I don't know what that signifies about her. Like,
That's
she was really fucked up.
interesting.
I mean,
yeah, I have no idea, honestly.
Don Mancini wanted to redesign Chucky ever since he was attached to a remake of the original movie. He wanted Chucky to resemble more modern dolls that appear more human and uncanny, a la American Doll. Mancini managed to play around with this idea with Chucky's face looking more human-like without his scars during the first half of the film and marketing. This upset many fans when they saw the design online, so much so that the follow-up went back to a more classic design of the first three films.
Y'all be stressing too much about some things. Like,
I think the face is so freaky looking in this movie. It really is.
I think they did an amazing job with it. It really did make it feel like, clearly with the same voice, it doesn't even matter. And I guess if they had made him look more like Glenn, then we'd start like, okay.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
why
that'd be
doing
awful if they did that.
But they didn't. I think if anything, they tried to make the doll look better. They tried to do a more updated version. Chucky wouldn't look like he would have in the 80s, not by today's doll standards, you know? And I really, at first I was kind of put off, but then I watched the film, and you got to watch the film. Everything works.
Yeah, I really fucking enjoyed this movie, like watching it. I was surprised. And after not being as let down by Seed, I'm like, damn, I'm not really hitting a speed bump with this series yet.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
I concur.
Death Holler Awards. Nika Pierce is a very, very good final girl.
She is fucking up there. She's a fucking survivor, and she doesn't even have use of her legs until the next film, but we'll get into that.
Yeah. Slasher, being Chucky again, he's actually scary.
Oh,
again.
yeah. Scary. Definitely like pop-up scares in this film. Just the way he shows up, his not condescending, the way he, you know.
Well, his remorseless laugh about what he did to her as a baby and her mom and everything.
Yeah. I mean, his desire. Look at Nika wants to live and Chucky does not want her to live. They have a determination and they are like two rams fucking going at it.
And here's something else we need to bring up, because I'm watching the Jason movies in preparation for our next, coverage. Jason is just a force of nature. If you get in his way, he's probably going to he's going to hunt you down and kill you.
Yeah.
But he does it like, he's not malicious in the sense that, like, I mean, he's doing it, to like torture you. He's just, you got in his way, you're going to die.
Yeah.
Chucky, especially in this movie, after what Charles Lee Ray revealed, he fucking loves to make people suffer and then die. Like, he is definitely a more malicious killer, even if he is that little fucking doll.
Yeah.
Best kill, Father Frank with his being both poisoned and his head fucking coming off.
Yeah.
Or Ian with his jaw being removed. That's mine. So
God, I can't. The detail behind these kills is insane, because first, I didn't really know that Father Frank's hand was cut off. I just saw the crucifix in his hand. So like, I'm like, what were his thoughts behind? He started sweating. He knew something was wrong. He started driving home, or driving wherever, back to the parish. So why was he holding on to it? Did he think there was something evil going on, something sinister?
that had to be part of it. I mean, he thought that his faith would like protect him or something.
Yeah, and the way his head fucking comes off, it looks so good.
And something we didn't mention that we should bring up right now, since it's Father Frank, that whole scene where you don't know who got the poison.
Oh, yeah.
And they hint that anybody could have, because every one of them has some issue with the food. The little girl, like, comments about she doesn't like the taste. It's weird. Barb
thought there was meat.
Yeah, Barb was like bitching about something with it. Ian, like, there's a hint that each one of them could have got it, because they focus on them and they give them one little thing. And you're like, oh shit, did they get it? Did that person get it?
Oh my God. And they're like, what? And he's like, this is amazing. And it's like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, that's what he says. That's I just remembered. Yeah. I just love that they worked that into it.
Yeah.
It's just a little bit of a guessing game, and then it ends up being Father Frank because he gets the meat sweats, even though there's no meat in it. And,
the meat
there
sweats.
you go.
They definitely played like Russian food roulette. So.
And the fact that Chucky was going to dump in everybody's food, but he just happened to get caught almost right before after dumping in that one plate says a lot. I mean, that's pretty fucking evil. He was going to poison every single person.
Christ, Nona! Holy shit, my daughter's just standing here. She's white as a fucking ghost. Can I help you? White paint? What do you need white paint for? Can't you just use your makeup? I'm just kidding. White paint? I don't know. Holy shit, Nona. Text me next time. Are your ears okay, Reverend? I'm so sorry.
You just made me wonder if there was somebody standing behind me whenever you did that. I was like, oh, shit.
Not that I could tell you have all those evil dolls behind you. Nona, close the door.
That's true.
Oh, okay. She scared the fuck. I thought I saw a ghost.
You legit scared me just then. I was like, what the fuck has happened to you?
She scared me so bad. My heart hurts so bad from screaming like that. She scared the fucking shit out of me. And then not only that, then I'm like, okay, like once I realize it's my daughter, okay, I'm going to be fine. I'm thinking, holy shit, I just screamed as loud as I could into your fucking ear. Into your cans. Oh my God, I got to gather myself. Where the fuck were we? That scared me so bad.
Well, we were at Best Scream, so
okay.
besides yours, Nika or Barb, which do you choose? I think Nika, but
yeah, it's got to be Nika because Barb. I mean, her death was great. I loved Barb's death. I think because now we got the scary face and everything, and he's just like. Ugh. And then he brought back an old scene, which obviously we saw later, but he brought back an old thing that she may have remembered from her childhood. You have your mother's eyes.
Yep.
Yep. So yeah, anyways.
Best side character, Tiffany Valentine. You got them big old titties back in the movie, so there you go.
Okay, refresh me because I'm on a Chucky overload. Where was Tiffany at in this movie?
She was mailing Chucky at the end of the movie back to Andy.
And and this was in 2017, this film, right? No, 2013 on this one.
2013, yeah.
So you gotta remember, she went through a fat phase for a while. She lost some weight by the time this movie came out. She looked fucking amazing.
She looked really good again.
Yes.
Franklin Award, Barbie Pierce, most annoying person in the movie.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, you got a hot nanny that you're fucking, lesbian licking, or whatever you're doing with her, and you still have to be as annoying as she was. So there you go. How annoying is Doom Prophet? It's Nika.
Nika.
I mean, I don't feel like it's not Crazy Ralph levels. I mean, it's just like Andy. It's like, whenever he was the Doom Prophet, it's like Chucky did it, and they're like, you're fucking insane.
Yeah. I almost thought, because how do you tell somebody, there's something wrong with the doll. The doll's evil. There's something in the doll. So I feel like I would have to make up something like, oh my God, I just got a notice that there's potentially a bomb in the doll.
There's a recall on this doll because it's like, Kung Fu Grip or something is hurting kids or something. Yeah,
when they go to hug or something, or there's the sender of this doll, because she had already said she didn't know who had sent it, said that there's a bomb or something dangerous in the doll. Put it down. We got to get out of here. Something realistic to get people like, okay, let's call the police, which they couldn't. They didn't have any signal and the lines were down. Which, by the way, what the fuck was up with that old ass phone? And the fact that she went for that first when she has a cell phone. Do you remember that scene?
Yeah. She had the rotary phone that she went to. That was like, and you could tell it was one of those old houses because it had an inset in the wall built specifically for the rotary phone. Just
for it, yes. And it was also high up. She had to kind of reach for it.
It was not ADA applied.
No, it was not.
Or compliant, I should say. Dumbest moment. The police assuming that Nika did it. I mean, but who were they supposed to believe?
Who were they? Yeah, everybody was dead.
I don't. There was nobody in this movie that was like supremely dumb. Like, I mean, even like Ian, like it was dumb that he ran back in the house, but like he was trying to find his daughter. I mean, who no father would like just leave their daughter.
I was thinking that too. I was like thinking, get the fuck out of there. But I'm thinking he doesn't know that there's something going on with the doll.
Well, even if he'd known, his daughter was still with the doll.
True.
Like they hadn't found her.
Yeah, like as a mom, I'd be like, no, fuck this. I gotta find my kid. Also, though, I think personally the dumbest moment was him falling down after seeing the doll. He was on the live feed and he saw the doll coming in and he just fell and he was just out.
That's probably true because I keep forgetting, like, anybody, everybody's natural response, although I don't believe this would be the actual response they'd have. If you saw a doll moving toward you, you would freeze up. You would. Everybody I ever talked to is like, I would drop kick that little son. Yeah, you say that, but if you actually saw a doll moving toward you, you would freeze up for a second.
If I saw a child coming towards me with a weapon in a menacing way, I would fucking freak out.
Yeah, it's easy to armchair quarterback that and say it's like, oh, I do this or I do that. And you don't know until you're in that situation. And like,
I think that falling over as easily as he did, though, because Chucky pushed the wheelchair.
That's too much.
That was dumb.
Too much.
Yeah, he just like, you might as well have, made a fainting noise like some of the women back in the day. Also,
when you describing that reminds me of that scene in Star Wars where Yoda like trips and like he's just got that look on his face like as he's falling over.
Also,
I don't know.
I got to point out something. Why didn't Nika tell them to check his laptop or check the camera that was on Chucky? The video evidence was there.
Was it?
It was.
No, I'm saying, was it because Chucky could easily destroy it?
He could have destroyed it, yeah, but, I mean, even like, come on, Hunter Biden's laptop, you can get some shit off of it.
They haven't.
They did. They're not releasing it. No, you can get like, so you hear on these podcasts where they're like, even though this information was deleted, they were able to recover everything to capture this person.
You can recover it, but here's the thing. You're also overestimating the cops.
That's
Cops
true.
They operate on Occam's razor. Whatever is the easiest explanation.
Yeah,
so
and she was the easiest explanation.
She had a motive. Her sister was trying to buy the house or take the house away from her. She was, like, I mean, you could say she was jealous because of being in a wheelchair. I mean, I'm not saying she was, but that's their thought process. Everybody was dead around her. She was covered in her blood. I mean, it's the cops are going to say, they're just going to wipe their hand and say, we've got it.
Yeah.
Like, there's no other reason to
Especially
go after
if you're the
anything
LAPD. Did I say that out loud?
I'm going to have to send you this TikTok that I saw the other day. It was the LAPD, but like it started out as like a traffic, like one of their cams or whatever.
Yeah.
And then it like cuts in and some other people are doing it. And it's this guy with Down syndrome who's the cop that walks up. And the stuff that he says to the black man that he's pulled over. I mean, it's making fun of how stupid those cops are.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's very offensive. So. But this movie is great.
Yes. Definitely a rewatch, a rewatch over and over. I don't think my kids have seen this, and I am so fucking excited to introduce them into it. And more than that, I'm actually really excited to introduce them to Cult of Chucky. Hey, who is there? Is that Nona? Fuck, I can hear people. Shit's going on.
Well, let's get into Cult and wrap this up here. Cult of Chucky from 2017. Tagline, friends till the end, remember?
I like it.
Here's another one. You may feel a little prick.
Shut up.
No, it's one of them. I'm serious about that.
What the fuck, dude?
Directed by Don Mancini, written by Don Mancini, music by Joseph Loduca again. Budget of $5 million again. Straight to video again, so we don't know the official like how much it made. Although this one is so divisive or divisive, however you want to say that word, amongst the fans that I don't know how well this one did because okay, so most people don't like Seed for whatever reason, and it's universally hated. This movie is like split right down the middle. There's people that says that they love it, and people that say it's worse than Seed. So it's across the board with this movie.
Yeah.
we'll get to our opinions on it here in a little bit. Principal players, we have Alex Vincent back as Andy Barclay.
Woo!
OG Final Boy back for revenge.
Yes.
Fiona Dorff, Nika Pierce, prior Final Girl, now institutionalized. Which is one of the few times that we actually, I mean, there's so many of these movies that if they bring the Final Girl back whatsoever, they hint that they've been in a mental institution or something, but we never actually see it.
Yes.
We finally see
we
it.
get to see it. And boy, is she fucking going through it.
Especially with that fucking
doctor.
Psychologist. Speaking of that, you're going to notice that shitty psychologists are a running theme in slasher movies when we get to the Jason movies. I'll just leave it at that. Brad Dourif back playing Chucky's this time because the killer doll slashers, there's multiples. There's 3 of them in this movie. Jennifer Tilly is back again as Tiffany in JT's body and the doll. Yes. Allison Dawn Doran plays Rachel, Andy's failed hookup at the beginning of the movie. Let's talk about this for a second while I'm thinking of this. Were you as offended at her like dismissal of people who like the Second Amendment as I was? Like, I mean,
she was. She gets the Franklin Award.
Yeah, she should. Yeah, straight off the bat.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, and I do love the fact that Andy was like, I just have a couple, and he goes home and he's got like
an arsenal.
30, like, fully loaded out, customized weapons.
I just have a few.
But she's like, you're not one of those weird people that likes the Second Amendment. We don't really need that in today's society. And I'm like,
shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up. That's right. Marina Stevenson Kerr plays Angela, the schizophrenic mental patient. She's also in Violent Night in the scene at the beginning of it in the bar. She's the bartender. Channel Zero, Wintertide from 2023, Orphan First Kill, The Grudge 2020, and I Still See You.
Which is funny because Chucky could see her.
That is true. Grace Lynn Kung plays Claire, the paranoid pyromaniac. She's actually a video game actress, most recently Starfield. Elizabeth Rosen plays Madeline, the institutionalized baby killer. She was in the movie Warcraft, The ABCs of Death, and The House of the Dead.
Wow.
Zach Santiago plays Nurse Carlos. Darren Wall plays Asylum Guard. Michael Therault plays Dr. Peter Foley, who should have his fucking license revoked.
Oh, my God.
If there's anybody in these movies that actually deserve to die, it's this fucking piece of shit.
You know what? It's funny. I recognized him. He used to be on the TV show Reign, which was about Queen Mary of Scots. It was basically like a fictionalized version of her life.
Yeah, that's one of the things that it had him listed as.
Yeah, and I really liked him in that film. He's a good actor.
He's also in Guillermo del Toro's Cabinet of Curiosities, Lock and Key.
What?
Yep. And the Chucky TV series.
Oh, yes, thank God. Oh, and Rain. Hey there.
Ailey Tatcharin plays Nurse Ashley. Fine-looking nurse. Mm-hmm. She's the fine vagina in this movie. Fine vagina. Well, except for that one scene with Nika. That's some fine vagina, I guess. It's kind of a weird scene, but... she was in Curse of Chucky as the U.S. ex-girl who is selling or is actually taking Tiffany's like order that we just talked about, that back and forth.
Yeah.
Adam Herdig, who was the cop in the previous movie, is now playing multiple Malcolm, a.k.a. Michael Phelps, a.k.a. Mark Zuckerberg. The patient with a dissociative disorder who's got multiple personalities.
Okay.
Synopsis. Several years after Nika was arrested and sent to a maximum security mental facility, her psychologist works out a deal to get her transferred to a facility with less restrictions. As part of his ongoing therapy for Nika, Dr. Foley brings in a good guy doll by the name of Chucky to help Nika overcome her trauma and delusions. Around this time, Mrs. Valentine drops in to inform Nika she was Alice's former guardian and that Alice is dead. Miss Valentine leaves another Chucky doll for Nika, one she claims was Alice's favorite. Once again, everyone around Nika begins dropping like flies. Has she truly bought into the notion that she was a killer, or is Chucky to blame? Mental patients get off, Andy gets to torture his worst enemy, and cult of Chucky keeps growing.
Whew.
Body count 9 with 10. There's an extra one not counted.
Okay.
Angela has her wrist sliced with a piece of metal. Makes it look like she killed herself.
Oh, yeah.
Claire is decapitated by falling shards of glass. That's kind of a callback to the scene with the two con lovers and bride. Madeline has a piece of spine ripped out through her mouth.
I was wondering what that was. Okay.
Yeah. Nurse Carlos is stabbed and then drilled to death by multiple Chuckies. The one Chucky with the drill and the wild hair was my favorite. Like, I just love that look. The asylum guard has his throat slit with a nail file. The nail file comes back. Dr. Foley has his skull stomped to mush. That kill was, I was clapping for that one.
Great justice.
And by the way, that was done by Nika.
Yep. It was for Nika, by Nika.
Yep. Nurse Ashley is drilled in the stomach off screen. Boo. That woman was just hot and trying to help people.
Yeah,
so leave her alone. Multiple Malcolm is drilled through the back of the head. And then Chucky, at least one of them anyway, is shot and has his head stomped in the mush by OG Andy.
By Andy. Andy is not here. And Andy sent himself there with a gun inside so that he would be able to access it. So he knew immediately. And did the smart thing of cutting his hair so he looks super dumb. And so he could identify if there was a real Chucky. He could identify which Chucky it was and ripped the gun right out of his guts, which was fucking awesome.
It's a really satisfying scene.
Yeah, even Chucky says, "You sent me?" Like, he was proud of Andy.
Non-counted deaths is Alice died between the two movies.
Yes.
So she's, the non-counted
Does
one.
she get resurrected into the Tiffany doll?
No, that's Tiffany, because remember they figured out a way to split their soul.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Quotes from Tiffany: "A true classic never goes out of style."
Oh, geez.
Calling back to Bride of Chucky.
Yeah.
"Nika, you're Alice's guardian." That's right, from Tiffany. "I'm sorry, but you seem really familiar. Did anyone ever tell you look exactly like Jennifer Tilly?" Tiffany: "Yeah, I get that a lot. You're not quite what I expected either." And Nika's like, "What did you expect?" And Tiffany said, "Somebody taller. You don't seem very dangerous." And Nika said, "You don't seem very motherly."
Ooh, this is like...
Andy Barclay to Chucky: "This is the end, fucker." And then Chucky laughs, and they call me sick. I love that at the beginning of the movie where he's got that the OG like scarred up Chucky, his head in that vice, and he's just torturing it.
I like how Chucky took a hit of the joint and was like, like went after his hand and scared the shit out of me and Andy. That was good.
And then he laughs because he's like, "You fucking pussy."
Yeah.
You know? Chucky, there's 3 different ones planning their next ordeal. The one with the burned hands speaks up first. "Now I'm going to kill Andy." The one with one arm says, "No, I want to kill Andy. I earned it," showing his empty arm socket. Chucky, the other one says, "I have been through a lot today." The one with the burned hand, you got to suck titty today."
Yeah.
Which he did get to suck titty, so he had that going for him.
Yeah.
Showing his melted fingers. "Look what happened to me." The one with a terrible haircut by Andy, showing his hair. "Hello, look at my hair." And it's the one with the one arm, shocked at the hair. "Oh shit, you win."
Yeah.
The one with the burnt hand, apologetically. "Absolutely sorry, pal. You go fuck him up real
good. Oh, I was dying.
I love this whole interaction between these 3 Chuckies. It was just so good. And then Chucky at the very end credits, which I hope you saw this. Kyle,
I didn't.
And then Kyle shows up again from part 2.
Kyle, the girl, yeah.
Yes, the one that was Andy's like foster sister. And she comes in and she says, "Andy sent me. We're going to have some fun." And then she takes out a small knife on Chucky, and then Chucky screams at the screen. So the one that he tortured at the beginning of the movie, the OG one, she comes in to torture at the end whenever he's still locked up.
Fuck, dude.
And she's back in the TV show, by the way.
Oh, fuck. I need to jump on this TV show.
Visuals. This movie, so the lighting and the setting to me is more bland than the last one because it's a lot of sterile, like, institutionalized stuff, except for the Andy scenes in the cabin. That looks pretty, that's visually different. I get why it's like that, but it's also like that. it's during like a heavy snow in like Canada, so that's where they filmed that.
Yeah.
So it's got that just bluish,
Yeah, a lot of
gray
grays
look
and
to
blues
everything.
in this. That's exactly what I was thinking.
But the Chuckies themselves are so colorful in this, like
Yeah.
especially the one with the wild hair that just
Yes.
like it's, you know, almost looks like it's dreads or it's like in braids or something. But
Oh yeah, it's all fucking wild, which is funny because I always think the fucked up haircut is the one with the wild hair, and it's not. It's actually one has actual wild hair.
the one with the drill, the one that
Yeah.
carries the drill, has the wild
So
hair.
fucking
Yeah.
funny. They have their own thing, but it's so funny how like, you know, he's like, we're gonna be a great team. You know, welcome to the cult, pal. And he's like, thanks. You guys are the best. And just the look on his face, it looks so happy and cheerful, but he's literally getting ready to go fuck someone up.
Yep. Malcolm technically is one of the Chuckies because and it's weird too the way they set it up because they possessed him, but and I don't know if they were trying to say something about is this dissociative disorder, but like not it took on one personality the possession did, and then when he switched personalities he wasn't possessed anymore.
Oh,
So that's kind of weird.
yeah,
I mean,
interesting.
but they kill him anyways because he's kind of useless. That well, they've got Nika, and
Yeah.
she's the best get that they can have. And here's the thing: I'm going to throw this in there because this goes in the acting, and it's kind of skipping a beat on the story here. Fiona Dorff does such a good job of imitating her father from the first movie.
Oh,
it looks just like that. It looks just like him.
And she doesn't, like, she speaks like him, but not in the same voice, because I almost half-assed expected his voice to come out of her mouth, and I'm so glad they didn't, because in her own voice, she's Chucky.
Yes, she in her own voice,
Hiya,
which
Tiff.
is yeah. When she does that, it was perfect. I was just like, oh god, she's nailed. And the way that she carried herself, like she looked just like him.
Yeah.
In his human form.
Oh my god,
So,
perfection.
But yeah, visually, this movie's a little bit blander for me than the last one. But I dig the kills are still good, especially that one with the mouth being ripped open, or like the spine being ripped through the mouth.
That was a good one, yeah.
And then the glass shards and all that. But like the Chuckies, I just love the different looks each Chucky had in this.
They worked really well together. It was so weird. It's like they're just like each other, you know?
And I think it's funny that the doctor mentioned that there was because there was only like 20 variations in names, like there was at least 50 Chuckies that were made out of the good guy dolls. They all had the name Chucky. So
yeah.
That's kind of funny.
I want to bring up real quick, we got to talk about this doctor and what he was doing to her.
Yes. So that gets into the story. I hadn't got to that part
Oh,
yet,
okay.
but we'll bring it up. First of all, one thing I'm going to say about the story before we get to that dark part is that this sets up the TV show, because the whole point of the TV show is that Chucky is continuously splitting his soul, and that he's sending these Chucky dolls out there to cause havoc.
Okay, that makes sense.
That's what the TV show's about.
And I fucking dig it. Because it gives you can't just kill Chucky and then it's like, oh, he's back. Well, how the fuck is he back? Oh, well, because this is why now.
Yeah, he's got multiple versions of him. Another thing I'm going to say about the story before we get to the doctor, this is the best through line of any of these multiple series slashers that we have. I mean, seriously, Don Mancini, because he's been the one sole writer pretty much for every one of these movies, has kept a consistent story that links all the movies linked together.
Yeah.
And meaningful ways. If you watch Friday, with Jason, they change up a lot of stuff, especially when it gets to Jason Goes to Hell. Like they retcon the shit out of his backstory for that one. But this one keeps everything consistent, especially with the addition of Curse and that linking it back to Nika's, parents right before he got in with Andy.
Yeah.
And it beats Nightmare movies too, because they're always retconning Freddy's origin slightly throughout but this is the best A to Z story of any of them, because they all it's a good Mancini does a real good job of linking them back. Now, having said all that doctor was basically hypnotizing Nika,
yeah,
gaslighting her, into to make her, go against her beliefs that Chucky did it, to believe it was herself.
Yeah.
And raping her.
Mm-hmm. Raping her and blackmailing her too.
Yes. He was doing things to make it look like she was more suspicious than she even was. So
yeah.
This is the worst treatment of a final girl. I mean, I would think that to me, this is worse than the ones that just outright get killed in the sequel.
Yeah.
Because she's getting severely, just like gaslit, raped. I mean, like just, and then like, I mean, it's one thing after another for her. And like and even with that, she still like tries her best to save people.
Yeah.
So,
try to keep it together. By the way, she's got a body yada 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 on her, and you don't know that because she's always sitting down. She finally gets to stand up in this story.
And then there's that scene where she gets fucked by multiple Malcolm, and that's kind of weird. But like, I mean, because it's out of nowhere, like she bums the cigarette off of him, and then like the next thing you know, like that wheelchair be banging.
Yeah, they're bumping uglies.
But yeah, she's a looker. I mean, she really is. But yeah, that this is, even Chucky comments in the movie. He's like, he has some kind of line that he doesn't know if he should be mad or if he should be jealous of the guy for being how evil he is.
Chucky calls the guy a sick bastard. Chucky's like, this guy is sick.
Yeah, he calls him a sick bastard, but then he almost like, he's almost envious of him. He's like, this guy's worse than I am.
Yeah, but at the same time, realistically, let's be honest, Chucky saved her twice.
He did.
Chucky saved her twice in this film. I mean, he's saving her to, like, obviously kill her himself. Like, I get that. I'm not like, oh, look at him, such a good dog. He's such a good guy,
Yeah, there's several times in there's actually one of the Jason movies where Jason saves the final girl from getting raped in that one, and I'm just like, that's kind of a weird thing in these movies.
Yeah,
like
wait, why did you save her? You wanted her nice and clean for when you go after her? Because we've heard stories about you, Jason.
Well, when he was living, when he's zombie Jason, don't fool that shit. He just wants to kill. But yeah, living Jason in part 3, we've already discussed. Chris might have, got some mongoloid dick. That's that's kind of out there. Acting in this movie, the only person I didn't really like in this movie was that the first chick that gets like the glass shards in her. She kind of got on my nerves. But I feel like the rest of them fit the parts they need to. And I loved having Alex Vincent back because it's like he just picked it back up again. It's like, I'm Andy, like
it was smooth. It was natural. It's like he belongs there. It's not like he was trying too hard. Like he didn't come off as some washed up actor that's like, hey guys, remember me? I'm the kid from, not Nightmare on Elm Street.
From Child's Play.
Where am I right now?
And I've heard people online say the opposite of that. I don't know where they're getting it from. They're saying, oh, he felt so flat in those scenes with him. I'm like, what are you smoking, dude? Like, I feel like he really got into the character, like, right off the bat.
Nah, he's smooth as fuck.
The guy, even like the secondary character that they got that from the first movie that was a cop to play multiple Malcolm, he does a pretty good job in this.
Yeah. No, I have to agree with you. I didn't know what the Asian lady's deal was, so I'm kind of glad you said something. I was like, what's her deal? But yeah. Yeah,
she was Franklin Award, I mean, if anything else.
Yeah. I think besides the Chucky, well, obviously Chucky is one person. The Chuckies were amazing. Their characters, perfect. But I have to say, I really did love to hate the doctor. He killed his role.
He did a good job of making you hate him.
Oh my God, did he?
Yeah. And that's a sign of a good villain.
Yeah.
I mean, not to say that Chucky isn't the villain, because he is, but I mean, when you hate that guy more than you hate Chucky, that says something.
Yeah, when you're thankful that, like, when she said Chucky's right behind you, I was like, oh, thank God, she's gonna be okay.
Well, here's something for you. Do you feel like the Chuckies had distinct personalities? Because I did.
I think they did, yeah.
I mean, I know
one was the leader, One was like
one was the baby. I mean, he
yes.
was the titty sucker. I mean,
definitely.
That's what,
Yeah. And then one of them was just the new guy that wanted in on the action,
Well, the one that had deliberately been or had previously been right with Andy and got his fucking hair cut off, so he, he had a reason to hate Andy,
Yeah.
Music, it's the same guy from the last one. It's got its moments. I feel like he's got better tracks on Curse than he does on this.
I agree. Curse the music was better. I didn't really notice it on this. It's not that I didn't notice it, like the scary scenes, perfection, but not anything that stood out.
Yeah. Trivia. Chucky compares one of the other Chucky dolls to Hannibal Lecter, adding, "Can't believe they canceled that show." Writer-director Don Mancini actually wrote 2 episodes of Hannibal during its third and unexpectedly final season.
Oh, my God. It was just so funny because he kind of looks off to the side, like literally breaking the fourth wall.
As he does.
Yeah.
Don Mancini claims that Andy is well off financially because of the insurance money he received from the murders he was involved with as a child.
How, though?
I would assume that, the Foster family, if he was the only surviving member, then maybe that money came to him.
Wow. Okay.
And so, there's that. And then, of course, he probably got a lump sum settlement from the government after all the shit that happened at the military academy.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
2 weeks before the film was officially released, the film was leaked in its entirety on Twitter and YouTube. In response to the leak, Don Mancini tweeted, "To the geniuses who leaked Cult of Chucky and tweeted about it, congrats. Not only are you terrible people, now Universal lawyers know who you are." Alex Vincent stated that he didn't understand the logic since the movie would be available to watch on Netflix anyways. But
that's okay. Well,
Jennifer Tilly shot her scenes in just 6 days during the last 2 weeks of filming in February 6th through 11th in 2017.
Okay.
Multiple cast members from Curse of Chucky appear in different roles. Adam Herding, who plays Michael, played Officer Stanton. Ali Tadrin, who plays Nurse Ashley, was also USX employee who delivers Chucky to Andy in the post-credits tag. And then finally, Darren Wall, who plays a security guard at the asylum, previously appeared as a highway cop in Curse.
Mm-hmm.
So, pretty good use of secondary characters. On the commentary, Don Mancini reveals that giving all 3 Chuckies a subtle difference was a studio executive decision that helped differentiate them in the film. During production, the Chuckies were nicknamed Buzzcut, Ragamuffin, and Edwardian, and Evil Dead.
Ragamuffin? I love it.
Ragamuffin has to be the baby. It has to
Yes, it has to be. And, of course, Buzzcut. We know who the fuck that is.
Evil Dead has to be OG Chucky, the one with the
Yes, Evil Dead, and then Edwardian was the leader.
Yeah. When Nika first meets Michael at the mental hospital, she trades him a stick of juicy fruit chewing gum for a cigarette. When he begins to chew, he says, juicy fruit. This is an obvious reference to the scene in One Flew Over Cuckoo's Nest when Murphy gives a stick of juicy fruit to the chief and says the same line. And you know who was in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest?
Oh, Jack
Brad
Nicholson.
Dourif.
Oh, never mind.
Well, also Jack Nicholson,
yes.
But Brad Dourif was in that movie.
That's hella funny.
While on the date at the beginning of the film, Andy mentions the murder of his babysitter, his teacher, and his caseworker, deaths which occurred in Child's Play and Child's Play 2. He does not mention any of the deaths in Child's Play 3, perhaps because Child's Play 3 is the one film where Andy was not played by Alex. The third film is still referenced, though, because he has a framed Kent Military Academy shirt in his house.
Okay.
After talking to one of the patients, Chucky calls the asylum a cuckoo's nest. Again, reference back to the original film. Tiffany says Chucky once told her that a true classic never dies, it never goes out of style. This is a reference back to the death of Chief Kincaid in Bride of Chucky. Don Mancini revealed that Andy now suffers from PTSD from what went on. That's probably why he's on the reefer, supposed to help that a little bit.
Okay.
Don Mancini was quoted saying that this would be the goriest Chucky movie. I feel like Curse was, but in October 2017, Don Mancini stated that he intends to have Glenn and Glenda from Seed of Chucky return in a future film, and acknowledged that most references to that character had been cut from Cult.
Okay.
They brought him back in the TV show, so I think he got his wish, just in a different form.
Yeah.
In an interview with Bloody Disgusting, Dawn discussed the potential Child's Play film set on a train, as well as revealing plans for a crossover film with A Nightmare on Elm Street.
Okay.
Tentatively referred to as Child's Play on Elm Street.
Oh my God.
He said, I would like to do a Freddy and Chucky movie just because I think they would be a fun double act. I'm really more interested in the characters. My pitch for Freddy versus Chucky is Child's Play on Elm Street. Chucky ends up in some kid's house on Elm Street, and Chucky and Freddy inevitably meet in the dreamscape. Chucky sleeps. Why not? Of course he does. They have an admiration for each other, but they realize quickly that Elm Street is big enough for the two of them. So in a riff on Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, they have a contest. Who can kill the most teenagers before the sun comes up?
Or you got Freddy trying to fuck Chucky. I don't know. I don't make the rules.
You have Freddy become a hot woman.
Oh.
Chucky tries to fuck him. He turns into Freddy and says, haha, you're gay. That's probably what he would do.
You know how I know you's gay?
When Malcolm pretends he's Charles, he claims no one calls him Chucky, unlike the real Charles Lee Ray, which actually prefers to be called Chucky.
Yeah.
In the commentary on the DVD, it mentions that the supporting actor had been taking unauthorized photographs of Fiona on the set and sending them to Perez Hilton. When they contacted Perez Hilton, he was very nice about the issue and agreed for his blog to be shown in one scene of the film where Andy is reading about the first murder of the film. So.
In the commentary on the DVD, it's mentioned that a supporting actor had been taking. Oh wow, yeah, Perez Hilton. I mean, like he keeps getting blacklisted from TikTok, and I know he used to be. He admits he was not a great person back in the day. The shit that he put out about celebs and stuff like that. He's trying to be a different person now, but TikTok keeps banning his accounts.
They're bad for doing that.
Yeah.
I mean, once they get somebody in their crosshairs, they don't let them go.
Yeah, I personally love Perez Hilton, and I think he's hilarious, and he's really got some good things to say. He's got some concern about some actors and everything, and he doesn't put out any information. He's like, I'm not going to say it, blah, 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 but I'm concerned, and I just hope the best for this person. So he's different. He's grown.
That's always a good thing especially whenever they're in that celebrity trash range that he's into.
Yeah.
Don Mancini stated that since Child's Play 3, he has always wanted to introduce the concept of multiple Chuckies, but was unable to do so due to budget constraints. His idea was eventually realized 26 years later in this movie and in the TV series.
Nice.
In Child's Play 3, Chucky nearly gets a haircut. In this film, Andy's Chucky doll has a buzz cut in order for Andy to distinguish it from the other Chuckies. Carlos is based on a friend of Don Mancini's who is also a gay Latino nurse. So there you go. When Claire attempts to throw Chucky in the disposal chute, he bites her on the arm, revealing to her that he is alive. In the original Child's Play, Karen is Barclay is bitten on the arm. Some of Madeline's drawings were based off of Chucky from Curse of Chucky. In that audio commentary, Don revealed that the original version of the film had no scenes between Andy and Tiffany. When he saw fans online getting excited about the idea of them finally meeting each other, he quickly wrote and shot the scene where Andy and Tiffany talk on the phone. So nice. He was going to have them separated, just, and everybody was like, oh, man, they've got to meet up because, they're the two, although Fiona Dorff and Alex Vincent are the same age, Fiona's character is 6 years younger than Alex's, having been born around the same time or at the time at the beginning of Child's Play from 1988. That's kind of crazy that those two people being that involved in the series are basically the same age.
Pretty much, yeah.
In September 2017, in a separate interview with Cinema Blend, Don Mancini confirmed that his intent to make the crossover film, describing it as cool and doable, confirming that the film would be titled Child's Play on Elm Street, blah, blah, blah. The foundation for crossover film was previously laid in Bride of Chucky, in which Freddy's glove was in the police station. Dr. Foley states that each good guy doll has one name out of 50 and that 2% of them are Chucky.
Wow.
Final awards for this episode. What about the final boy, Andy, coming back?
We're happy. We're proud. I don't know what else to say because the actor really killed it. Like, he really brought it, and I'm just so happy for it.
I just love that they got him back. Like, I really when I saw him at the end of Curse, I was like, oh, fuck yes. Like, we've got the original Andy back. Like, this is great. And then the fact that you get more of him in this movie is even better.
Oh yeah.
What about the cult of Chuckies? What do we think about multiple Chuckies?
Fucking hilarious. They were having so much fun. It was one person, but he was having so much fun.
I agree with that. It's just fun seeing them interact with each other.
Yeah.
Best kill is the most satisfying. Is definitely Dr. Foley.
Oh yes,
via Nika.
Without a doubt. And the fact that this is not the third time Chucky saved her, but at the same time, he specifically did that for her, and part of her is still in that body. She doesn't want to kill that doctor, but at the same time, she would have never had the strength to do that on her own, and she needed to.
Yeah. Madeline's was the sickest. I mean, just getting your spine ripped out through your mouth.
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty sick.
That was sick. And also, somebody had pointed this out online. You can tell me if you agree or not. They said that is one of the kindest things Chucky could have done for a mental patient. They said that he allowed her to believe what she needed to believe, and she allowed him to hurt her. It was a payback for what she knew she had done that was wrong. She was facing her trauma.
But it's true, because she has just got through that whole thing where she finally admits that she killed her baby, and that's like her baby killing her. That's like what she got out of it.
She allowed it. It was a joke, obviously, to him, because she's like, is it going to hurt? He's like, I'm going to do my best, and she let herself go for that, and he released her from her trauma.
It's true.
She basically got to say she's sorry, she didn't mean to do what she meant to do, which is fucking sad, because I don't know the full story of why she, hurt her baby or killed her baby, but postpartum depression is a motherfucker.
Yeah, I mean, does that play like part of the La Llorona tales? The postpartum depression, basically.
Yes. Anyways.
Go ahead.
Oh no, that's it. I'm done with that. In terms of we agree that Dr. Foley's was the most satisfying kill, but her spine being pulled. I was like, what the fuck did he pull out of her throat? I had no idea. It was dark.
Yeah. It's kind of a darker scene. It's kind of hard to see. Best scream is Nika. Best side character is Kyle, because
I didn't catch that. I need to look that up on YouTube.
Franklin Award is Claire. That first the Asian lady that gets I'm pretty sure that's her name.
Yeah.
She's so annoying throughout the movie. She's always saying that it's Nika's fault. She's throwing everything else on her until it's the last second. So I don't feel too bad for her.
Yeah.
Nika is again the Doom Prophet, because nobody will listen to her. Although Andy brings in a little bit of Doom Prophet too. He tries to tell him,
Yeah.
And I do like the scene where they reveal that Andy came to Dr. Foley to tell him to try to get Nika completely exonerated. He's like, I've got proof that Chucky did this, and I'll gladly show you. And remember, that's what makes Dr. Foley even more sadistic, is that he saw him. He's like, don't fucking worry about it. We're not going to, we're not going to go that route. So Andy tried to save Nika.
Oh, yeah.
Even before all this.
He did. Yeah. Also, I just wanted to point out that I think that the girl from the beginning of the film deserves the Franklin.
Oh, Frank. Yes. Give her the Franklin Award. His girlfriend.
Yep.
Yes. One thing I was going to say about about Andy, or Dr. Foley, I just lost it. Anyways, that the whole thing with Dr. Foley and the way that he did Nika, I mean, it's even worse than the fact that you see that Andy tried to save her. Oh, I was going to say about Andy, he really pulled the trigger. He didn't know that there wasn't a bullet in that gun, but he was going to kill Nika to save her.
Yeah.
If you understand what I'm saying.
Oh, he was. Absolutely.
Yeah.
He didn't hesitate.
That shows he has some balls, because Chucky was like, you wouldn't kill Nika, and he was like, click.
The fuck, I won't. Yeah.
Dumbest moment, Andy getting put in the rubber room to save Nika. I get that he had to get inside that place somehow, but I don't feel like that was the best way to get inside the place.
He didn't know any better, but it didn't play out to his advantage.
Nope. All right. how do you rate all these movies? Like, how do you rank them?
Okay, you're talking about from the beginning, like
first, before we do this, what do you think of Cult? Because
oh
we need
my
to cover
god,
that.
Cult. Okay, so I really liked Curse, and I'm not saying I don't know that I could tell you which one I think is better, but when I got to watching Cult and I was not excited to watch Cult, I don't know why. I don't think I had heard anything bad about it, but I was watching it and the kids, like my son is kind of playing Oculus, my daughter's on her headphones playing with her bearded dragon, whatever, and I'm watching this and I'm just like, oh, just I'm enjoying this film so much. Literally the best time watching these two films, and even more so with this film because I kind of expected it was not going to be as great for some reason, and it was.
Yeah, I was surprised because everybody, like I said, it was either love or hate, and I was just like, oh man, it's after the high that was Curse, it's going to be real bad if it goes out on an extreme low. And I was watching and I was like, I'm digging this movie.
Oh yeah,
I'm really digging this. That goes into me saying I believe I like this across the board the best of all the slasher series of the ones that I've seen. I know it's a bold statement because Chucky is not everybody's favorite.
Yeah.
It is the most consistently entertaining of the slashers.
Oh, yes. You're right. It has stayed consistent the whole time.
Because there are some duds in the Nightmare on Elm Street movies. There's some really high highs, but there's some really low lows. Same with Friday the 13th. Friday the 13th is probably the second best consistent as far as just watching it. But when you start getting into like some of the ones that we're going to be covering, they start to really dip out.
Oh, yeah. And I expect that. And I expected that of this film. Didn't get it.
Yeah, I expected it. I was like, okay, we're going to get a Jason Goes to Hell in this one. And I was like, nope, that's still entertaining. And it still ties in with the story, so it's pretty good.
He really brought it back by redoing the films straight to DVD, which is so fucking sad, to be honest with you. I don't feel like the world got to experience Chucky in the way. Could you imagine these in the theater?
They would have been a pretty good time.
Oh yeah, definitely. Now I love how he went serious with Curse, and then I love how he brought it back to comedy and Cult.
I agree the same thing, and the other thing is
Jesus,
too.
Mona. God, sorry, my daughter's bringing me. She's bringing me life right now, literally, but she's also scaring the hell out of me.
I was going to say the other one that Scream is for a lot of people like another one that they say is pretty consistent, but I don't know if you could say that because there's a lot of people that don't like Part 4. There's a lot of people that don't like Part 3, and there's a lot of people that's been bitching about the newest ones, 5 and 6. So I don't think Scream is consistent of a series as this either.
No, but not. I feel like someone's always got to complain about something. You know, there's always going to be somebody that complains about something on a film. We could think it's the best thing ever, and somebody's going to be like, well, actually, it's not good, and let me tell you why. Chucky didn't look the same, or he was mean in this film, but he was funny in this film, and that's stupid. And it's like, whatever. I think that in terms of scariness and comedy, well, it went more comedy for a minute. Like the films were just straight up funny, and then, like I said, I can't tell you how much I appreciate how many times I got scared watching Curse. It was amazing. It was the best feeling in the world, feeling like you're fucking gonna jump out of your own skin.
And then having the comedy bring back just a touch back in Cult.
Yes, with also having some fucking serious situations going on. Andy having to deal and having conversations with Chucky and being by himself because he's just alone, and Chucky kind of using that against him. That's some real shit.
That's as bad as Dr. Foley using Mika the way that he is.
Exactly. And then there's that whole situation. You got people that, they don't know what they're seeing when they see Chucky. He's fully taking advantage of a mental asylum. At the same time, it's kind of like cheering him on, but at the same time, it's really sad for the people involved,
Yeah, it's all. I mean, yeah, the people in that mental asylum. It's kind of sad for them because just like you said, they're being taken advantage of by even like Chucky at one point in the
Yeah.
movie. So
I think it was hilarious the scene between Chucky and the schizophrenic lady, though. How she's like, "Oh, you don't have to be afraid of me." He's like, "Are you fucking kidding me? I am a doll from the '80s with a knife in my hand."
But I wanted to say that up front. Like, I was so surprised when I got through all these, and I'm like, you know what? Like, I've totally turned on these movies. I really think that it's like one of the most consistently entertaining slasher franchises out there.
Yeah, no, definitely. I had a great time watching every one of these films. Again, cannot wait to introduce my kids to, at minimum, Cult of Chucky. Really good time. Good slashers, good jokes. He doesn't overdo it. They don't overdo it on the comedy. They reel it in with the drama. Fucking, it's great.
So, of these movies, how the Chucky movies, how would you rank them? And then we can rank the Child's Play with the rest of them.
So, of the Chucky movies, oh God, this is gonna be tough. Okay,
It is tough.
Okay, so right off the top, I'm gonna go with Cult of Chucky,
Okay.
Curse of Chucky, Bride of Chucky, and Seed of Chucky.
I would like to argue with that, but I could see your reasoning behind that. Now, here's where I would go with it:
Okay.
Bride, Curse, Cult and Curse being pretty close, but still Curse being the one above that, and then Seed at the bottom. Although it's not, you got to have something at the bottom, and it's not saying that Seed is. I mean, I was expecting to hate Seed.
Oh yeah, 100%. I think with Seed, really, it could only go up.
But yeah, but Bride is at my top just because it's like comfort food when I watch Bride. Like it's just that you put that, just like you said with the the last episode when we were talking about Warm Bodies. It's just like when I put that on, like I'm just like, oh man, I love this fucking movie, like just from beginning to end. So, but Curse and Cult are pretty close behind it.
Yes.
So, having said that, how would you intermingle in the Child's Play movies in with that ranking?
Okay, so these are all of the films now.
Yes.
Okay, so I need a refresher on Child's Play 2 and Child's Play 3. Child's Play 2, he's with the family.
He's with a foster family, and then at the end of the movie, they have that big, they go into the factory, and they have that big, fight or chase by Chucky, and he gets, like, melted down, like, at the final scene.
Okay, which I remember. And then Child's Play 3, what's happening in that one?
It's the military academy.
Okay. All right, here it goes. Child's Play 1. It's number 1. It just is.
Okay.
And I know this is going to be different because I rated them differently in terms of the Chucky movies, but now we're rating all the movies. So Curse is going to be my number 2.
Okay.
Followed by Child's Play 2.
Okay.
Followed by Cult.
Okay.
Followed by Bride. I feel like I'm going to miss one. 3 and Seed. Am I missing one?
I believe you got them.
Okay.
I believe you got them. So, for me, and this is totally nostalgic because 2 has always been my favorite of the Child's Play movies. 2, Bride. 1, Curse. Cult, Seed.
Wow.
And 3.
Okay, I actually put our ratings down. So I was 1, and then I was Curse, and then I was Cult. Oops, Volt. Cult, and then I was 2. Then Bride. Oops. And then 3 and Seed. Yeah. Wow, we were pretty fucking different. The only thing that was close is 3 and Seed. Because, like, you had 3 as the last one and Seed as second to the last, and I had Seed as the last and 3 as second to last. Yeah, we're not even really close at all.
No. It doesn't surprise me that 1 gets high on your list. 1 is such a well-made movie, and I can't really fault it for that. It's just it's still 2 has higher place for me just because it literally is the one that I watched as a kid, and I still.
I do want to change mine a little bit. I do want to put Bride above 2.
That I could see that.
Yeah. But still, even then, it's not. It's not still even. Not it makes close. It worse. Yeah, our ratings are not close at all, which is so funny. But man, in general, those movies are so fucking good.
They really are. I mean, it's consistently good, and now I want to get back. I want to get into the TV show.
Oh yeah, I do too. I have watched. Okay, so I've watched not most. I think a couple of episodes of season 2, because that's all that was available to me. But now that I have the Cock, aka Peacock, I can watch all of them now. So I'm pretty stoked.
Yeah. I want to go in and watch them because I feel like it's Don Mancini again, so he's going to continue that line. He's going, and I know for a fact he brings Andy in, he brings Kyle in. I mean, he's keeping the story going.
He's bringing all the heavy hitters in for sure.
But yeah, I can't fault the ones that you like at all because I mean, you know, you're still putting 3 and Seed at the bottom, and that's I feel like that's pretty that even across people who you know have like different picks for like number 1, they consistently say those are 2 weaker ones.
Yeah.
I just think that Seed is more entertaining to me than 3 is. And that's kind of why I put it above that.
God, maybe it is for me too. It's hard because I again genuinely enjoyed almost all of these films, and I think for me the scarier ones are the ones that obviously sit with me the most.
That would make sense because 1 and Curse. Well, Curse is supposed to be a remake of 1 in a roundabout way. So that's funny that you've got them so close together because that's what Don Mancini would want. You know?
Yeah. And the thing of it is though, I would never in my wildest dreams or nightmares imagine that I would like the remake of something this much.
Well, he did a good job. It's not just a remake; it's a continuation. It's actually an addition to the story.
Well, yeah, there you go. Yeah, you know. But still, regardless, perception is reality, and that's what people think it is. Like, oh, this is just a remake of it, because that's what I heard.
Yeah, but watching 2 and then watching Bride, I was just like, okay, they've got to be at the top for me because I still like them that well. And then 1, I have to give that 3rd place just because it's the original. It's so well done. It's such a good, well-made movie.
Oh yeah.
You know, and then Curse and Cult right after it because I like both of them.
I don't know. We don't have a lot of people that jump in and say, oh, I like this, I like this. I mean, aside from Cody and, of course, one of my coworkers who's jumping in and listening to our episodes, which, by the way, she fucking loves your input on everything. She's like, oh, my God, he's got so much information. And it's like, that's what we're here for. You're welcome. That's what he's here for.
I think Cody has basically hinted me that Bride is his favorite. And I think Bride to him, because of his age, is what 2 was to me. You know, it's the one that he grew up on.
Yeah, that would make sense. And 2, it's so funny because I don't mean for 2 to be so low. I love 2. It's one of the ones I remember the most, but it just, I don't know in terms of.
It's weaker than some of them. I'll even grant that. But just as far as what I enjoy, because in my mind, the best part of 1 is whenever Brad Dourif really, you know, at that scene with, you know, Andy's mom, he starts like kicking and screaming, and Brad Dourif's real voice, you know, his Chucky voice comes through. Like, that's one of my favorite scenes in that movie. And 2 is all Brad Dourif, you know, basically. Yeah. It's like him. You really get to see more of that character come through.
Yeah. I feel like you get that in Colt and Bride. Well, Colt maybe not as much because they do dial it down a little bit. Bride definitely, which is why I put Bride above 2, because I went with my scaries, and then I went with a kind of scary, kind of funny, and then I went with hilarious, and then I went with the rest.
Yeah.
In terms of rating my film, so.
Let's see. Is there anything else? We've got the rankings for all of them. We got the rankings for the individual, or I mean, for this set. And we said our piece about Chucky in general. I think a lot of people like sleep on Chucky and think that he's the goofiest of the slashers, but it's, as far as just enjoyable, like we said, it's up there, and I think a lot of people don't give it the credit it's due for that.
I thought it was going to be, I haven't watched any of these, honestly. So 1, 2, and 3 I've seen, obviously. 3 I didn't really give it the time that, I don't know, I wasn't as interested in it, but I definitely, Bride, Seed, and Curse and Colt, I was just like, nah, I'm done. Like, I'm not trying to watch any more Chucky films. It's like, what are we going to get out of it? I'm kind of sick of this doll, you know, whatever. And they're fucking amazing.
Yeah, it's a testament to Don Mancini, because he's over all these Chucky movies. He is. I mean, so they're his. I mean, like, except for Ronnie Yu doing Bride, I mean, he's even directed all the Chucky ones.
Oh yeah, no, this was a good one. I'm glad we got to review these. I'm again having to step outside of my comfort zone in terms of films that I would or would not watch, and genuinely having the best time with slasher season. So
I really feel bad for whenever you start up the next batch of Jasons, because
it is what it is.
It surprised me. The ones that I didn't like, I'm liking now, in those, and the ones that I did like, I'm just like a little lacking in places, but we'll get to that.
Yeah, watch those be the ones I like the most. That'll learn you.
That might be. Anything coming up from absolutely not?
No plans whatsoever. So.
Okay.
We'll see in the future what's happening with that, but you know, I imagine when we do get together, we just need to make it hey, when we can get together and do a podcast, let's fucking shoot the shit. You know, nothing steady. It's hard, you know, again, it's hard working. You and I know how hard it is working on our schedules, especially when one of us is having like a weather situation or an internet situation, time zone differences, plans, you know, going out of town, shit like that. You know, It's the same with her. She's got her own schedule, her own life, how she's been working things. And I'm trying to work with it as best as possible. So I'm trying to make myself available to you guys when, you know, I can. Even if I have to get up ass early in the morning. In this particular case, you're working with me because it's fucking super early, 1 o'clock in the morning for you right now.
It sure is.
Yes. So I get it. That's just the hard part of, again, being on opposite sides of the coast of the fucking country, you know? And, and wanting to make a podcast happen.
Yep.
So, yeah.
But other than that, we have the Jason episodes coming up, the final Friday the 13th movies, and then we're to hopefully have out by Friday the 13th in October.
Yes.
And then we're covering 4 Halloween movies, correct?
Jesus
1,
fuck.
2.
1 and 2,
and then we each pick our favorites.
We each get to pick our favorites, which I don't really feel like I'm good at breaking down a film, but I think I have the gist of it, especially with your notes. And I don't want to go full length into it. It'll be cool if we pick the same film. Again, we're not telling each other which is our favorite. So
it's gonna be tough with the Halloween movies.
Yeah.
I don't know. We're going to be probably on completely different sides of the equation on that one, but we'll see.
Which film did we say we are not reviewing? Absolutely not. Like, of the
3. 3, because 3 is a witch movie, and it needs its own coverage.
That's my favorite one.
I'm
just kidding.
It really is amongst my favorite
It's
ones.
One of my favorites,
yeah. It really is.
It kills me because I get it. Michael Myers is not in it, but... You know.
All right, folks. With that, peace be with you.
And with your spirit.